Mm, Here we go. Here we go. All right. Um, I'm a couple minutes early. Feeling pretty proud about that. All set up. This is, anyway, one of my favorite beverages. All right. So before we get started, okay, I have Erin joining me. This is going to be wonderful. Hello, Smoke Show.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you.
Oh, you too. It's so refreshing just to see your face.
Aw.
So we are already streaming to YouTube.
Okay.
Um, so I don't actually know if that will impact or affect you at all as far as a delay. I can't look at the YouTube version because it's delayed, so it just throws me all off. But I will click back and forth. Erin, I'm so glad you were able to hop on quick. I'm sure you have a full evening. Um, I'm just going to tell people why it's important for you to be on tonight. That's all right.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so I just want to start by saying, guys, the idea of doing these live readings leading up to, and we'll probably continue on after the book launch, is really for people to become familiar with the theme and the topics and the kind of messages that are shared in this book. It's also to help people who find that they prefer to hear it read to them, or you want to hear like my own perspective as the author. But so this is really fun and lighthearted and kind of a disorganized mess as life is. And something that I'm very, very lucky in is the relationships that I have. I met Erin within this last year and a bit, and talk about one of those lasting impression people. Erin is one of those good souls, the good stuff, who is very genuine and very honest. And I love the way that she processes things, makes decisions, and works her own business. She is quite a success on her own right, and I'm just really proud to call her a friend. We've worked together, and I asked Erin if she would do me the honor of writing the foreword to my very first book, and she did. So, I'm so glad you're on, Erin. So I thought it would be fun if Erin actually read the foreword for us, and then Erin's going to hop off so that I can continue on with the live reading. But I really appreciate you doing this, Erin. Is there anything else you want to say before we hop into the book?
Well, I want to say thank you for that really warm introduction. That is so nice. I just feel like you are someone that I was supposed to meet, like one of those things that was just meant to be. And so I feel so lucky to have met you, to know you, and to be here tonight. And it's really an honor to read this. I have no idea who watches or who participates in this, but I hope that they really feel how sincere I am in saying that. And so thanks for this opportunity, both to read your book, to write the foreword, and to be here. So all three of those, and so here it is. I'm all ready if you are.
Yeah. You know what? I just in saying that when I was like, oh, this is so good. I'm definitely gonna ask Erin if she'll write that. And then you realize it's like handing your baby over to someone else to say, do you like my baby? And will you say something nice about it? So it's a really awkward, vulnerable place to be, and I'm so grateful it turned out well for me.
You know what? I didn't even really think that it might have that effect on you, on anyone, but it makes perfect sense that that kind of vulnerability would be passed along with it. And so thanks for trusting me with that. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So
I
quite an
totally
honor.
cried when I read it the first time. I cried in my
Um,
car. I was like, oh my gosh. So
oh,
I'm gonna shut up and let you read so that
okay.
you can move on with your night. But
Oh,
thank you
no.
so much, Erin.
It is my pleasure. So here is the foreword for You're Strong Enough for This. And it starts with me saying, "It is with immense pleasure and profound admiration that I introduce Kate Hansen and her insightful work, You Are Strong Enough for This. Over the past several months, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand Kate's remarkable passion for excellence, both in her own endeavors and in her unwavering commitment to empowering others. She is a true force of nature and an incredible mentor, generously celebrating every success, a quality I deeply admire, strive to emulate, and for which I will forever be thankful. Knowing how much of herself she poured into this book makes it even more meaningful. Within these pages, Kate shares significant and personal stories that exceed the typical reading experience. It feels like more than just a book, it's a piece of her soul. This book is quite literally Kate's way of extending a far reaching oxygen mask, uplifting as many others as she possibly can. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Kate, for teaching me how to get better at carrying it.
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you.
Oh, thank you, Erin. I can't even tell you what a gift that is. Like, talk about one of the little blessings when you imagine writing a book, you never think of somebody writing something like that at the beginning. Oh, it's so
You should
wonderful.
think of that. That should be like one of the rewards for it.
You should. Future visioning. It's like, who will write
Yeah,
the foreword? What great
right?
things will they say?
Yes, I
Oh,
think
thank you.
so.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity to be part of this. I'm so excited for the book launch, which I'm sure I'll let you get into, but thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, we will have a fun night, and whatever you're up to this evening, have fun. Get into some
Thank
trouble.
you. Yes, we're off for ice cream. So have a great evening.
Thanks.
Yes,
So wholesome. Okay,
yes.
thank you, Erin. I
Okay.
appreciate
Have a
you.
wonderful evening. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone who's there.
Bye. Okay, so the last time I got a little bit um off topic, just talking about things that were going on beforehand. And so I'm going to just jump right in to speaking on chapter two. Um, I have to just be honest and say that I am going on zero sleep. Like, I didn't even get 5 minutes or the half an hour. Sometimes where you think, did I drift off? Last night, just stared at the ceiling. And no, I was not anxious about anything, worrying about anything, just blankly staring. So I'm actually proud of myself for not falling apart and crying while Erin was reading that. Um, but there may be tears as I read now. I was also throughout my evening of just thinking, I had planned the book launch and some of the things I wanted to say about some of the guests. And yeah, I was pretty sure I was going to cry all day, but I've held that pretty well. And I just want to say, as always, thank you so much, Gia, for being on and supporting me on these live chats. Um, Normally, when I'm doing something like this, I would expect to talk about it a lot more, share it on my social so that people have some time and some notice because it's the summer. We're not all tied to our tech as we are throughout the year. And I realize that evenings are precious when you've got the beautiful weather. But even if you get a chance to watch this replay, it means the world to us. And if you get a chance to go through it and contribute, comment, put in your thoughts, your reflections, what comes up for you. I promise you, we will watch it, respond to you, get back to you. I want this to be a conversation, not a one-way street of sharing. Um, and I will keep going back and forth in case anyone has any questions or says anything that comes up. All right. So let's go. Chapter two, Strong Minds, Strong Lives. In January 2010, my firstborn daughter entered the world, and the magnitude of the responsibility and change hit me immediately. As she arrived, there was a giant bright light angled towards my lower half, I guess so that the doctors could see. And all I remember is them holding her up in the air, Before laying her on my chest, she was surrounded by that same bright light. I literally saw her glowing. It was a spiritual experience that left me in absolute awe. Once she was in my arms, so tiny and fragile, I thought, oh my God, my life will never be the same. I'm responsible for this tiny human mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I have to show up better, more responsible, more mature, more intentional, and with higher standards. She deserves nothing less. In that moment, I became a warrior, a protector, a caretaker, a mother. Since then, I've noticed that the weight of the world often arrives unannounced. You blink and suddenly everything is changed. But real mental resilience isn't found in the absence of difficulty, it's revealed in how we respond. The quiet, deeply personal resolve to be aware of the thoughts we choose when life feels unmanageable. Reframing your thoughts, take back the power. I truly feel for people who are deeply tied to their negative beliefs. That kind of weight around your ankles can make every step forward feel impossible. That's why I'm so passionate about supporting others in making a much needed perspective shift for their health, their well being, and their growth. Even though those thoughts might not be positive or encouraging, they're often familiar, repeated, or emotionally charged. So we start to believe they must be true. But here's the truth, they're not. And the sooner that you realize that, the sooner you can begin to replace those thoughts with ones that are familiar, repeated, and bonus points, emotionally empowering. That's how you shift your beliefs by choosing ones that actually serve you and support your overall wellness. Let's look at what this can actually look like in real life. One evening, Michael is pacing his bedroom, rubbing the sides of his face, knowing he's on the brink of falling apart. But his daughter's in the next room and he doesn't want her to worry. It's been another typical long day and he's hit the wall. Deep down, he realizes this pace, this level of pressure and stress isn't sustainable. The long hours, the missed moments with his family, the disconnection from his own body, it's all piling up. He's exhausted, overextended, and feeling completely lost in the shuffle of expectations. What Michael might not realize is that he's standing at a mental fork in the road. He has two options in front of him, one that's familiar and one that's empowering. Option one, the familiar path. He swallows his feelings, brushes the tears from his eyes, telling himself that this is just how life is right now. If he can just push through, maybe it will get better. Things will get better. He convinces himself he needs to work harder, be more efficient, make fewer mistakes, and sacrifice even more to keep afloat, keep everything afloat. He silences the alarm bells, ringing in his head and heart, splashes cold water on his face, walks back into the living room with a strained smile. I know it's late, sweetheart. What do you want to eat? He asks, as if everything's fine. Okay, that's what he was doing. It's a familiar path. He's always done it. I'm going to go back to it. Maybe it's what he saw his parents do. Who knows where he's getting the message? But this is where we can all question our default behavior. Okay, here's the other option, the reframe path. He pauses, closes the door, sits on the edge of his bed, and takes a deep breath. Gently, he asks himself, what am I thinking right now that's making me feel this way? It's not an easy question, but it's a powerful one, and it immediately gives him a sense of agency. He realizes the spiral he's in is being fueled by thoughts like, I'm a bad dad for working so late. I'm failing at everything and it's impacting my daughter. I'll never catch up. But instead of staying stuck, he challenges them. What if that's not the full truth? What would I tell a friend who's feeling the same way that I am? What do I want to believe instead? He chooses to reframe. Working fewer hours and focusing more efficiently allows me to be fully present with the task in front of me. I know I'm making the right kind of progress. These feelings are a signal, not a stop sign. They're reminding me to ask, what if this could be easier? So I can figure out what to delay, delegate, or delete to lower my stress and increase my energy. My love for my family shows up in many ways, and I'm allowed to take care of myself too. That night, Michael still heats up the leftovers. He still answers a couple emails, but something's different. He's not buried in guilt or spiraling in overwhelm. He feels grounded, empowered. And that small shift gives him just enough clarity to show up differently the next day with a bit more energy, a clearer focus, and a softer inner dialogue. Staying present in the moment. Sometimes the spiral isn't just mental, it's physical. When anxiety strikes, it often drags us into the future, spinning stories of everything that could go wrong. One of my favorite tools to stop the spinning is a grounding, bringing yourself back to your body through your senses. Here's how you do it. One, feel a texture. Feel something near you, nearby. This is my new sweater. A blanket, your sleeve, the surface of a desk. Just feel something. Name three things that you can see in the room. Notice one sound, one smell, or even the temperature around you. These small practices re-anchor you to the present moment. It's a bit like distracting a toddler from the ice cream cone someone else is eating. You gently shift your focus to something else. The present, unlike your hypothetical disasters, is the space where you actually have power. The power of self-compassion. Let's be honest. If you spoke to your friends the way you speak to yourself, you'd probably get a lot of side eyes and suddenly wide open social calendar. Self-compassion isn't indulgent, it's essential. You wouldn't expect a plant to thrive if you only fed it criticism and neglect. So why expect yourself to flourish under those same conditions? Constant self-criticism isn't building strength. It's only making life harder than it needs to be, right? Who's not guilty of that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree that we are the ones who make our lives harder than they need to be, right? How often are we the one that's making it harder? Just by saying awful things to ourselves, by allowing ourselves to meddle in the stress and the worry and the doubt. Try this. Write yourself a note the way you would to someone you love. Offer appreciation for your uniqueness. Speak gently to your fear. Let your expectations soften. That kind of self-kindness doesn't make you weak. It's what makes you resilient. A little tough love, familiar doesn't mean healthy. Now, before you roll up your journal and call it a self-care win, let me offer a gentle challenge. Sometimes people try to prioritize their mental health, but when it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable, they pull back. I often hear things like, it made me feel worse, or they retreat to the familiar chaos because at least they know how to survive there. I hear this kind of reasoning or excuses, as I like to call them all the time, as I like to call them all the time, it's like a blankie or a binky for adults. Comforting? Absolutely. But does it help you grow? Familiar isn't always healthy. If you stay stuck in the known just because it feels safer than the unknown, you'll miss the opportunity to rise. Yes, slowing down and listening inward is important. But here's another truth. Sometimes we think so little of ourselves simply because we haven't taken intentional action to test our potential. You have reserves you haven't even met yet. I know because I've met some of mine and I didn't know they were there. Let me tell you about the first time I truly surprised myself. Back in high school, I had to give a presentation to my entire class on Princess Diana, a topic I clearly never forget. I'll clearly never forget. My dad was a fantastic public speaker, so I naturally assumed I inherited that skill. I didn't prepare. I figured I'd just get up there and my natural brilliance would take over. Plot twist, it did not. The second I stood in front of the class, my mind went blank, completely blank. I burst into tears and I ran out of the room, vowing never to speak publicly again for the rest of my life. And though this is such a vivid image in my mind, like it's a video that I replay of running down the hall as the teacher yelling from her desk that this doesn't let me off the hook, I can still remember everybody's faces of panic and worry watching me, except for one of my friends who has the best laugh. And she was cracking up before it was even done. And then she chased me to the washroom, giggling that that had just happened. Somehow it broke the tension a little bit, but I was still destroyed. The second, okay, so I promised myself I would never speak again ever for the rest of my life. Spoiler alert, I broke that promise. Fast forward about 10 years, I was working on a major special project and had done all the research, analysis, and reporting myself. My boss called me into her office and said, Kate, you know this stuff inside and out. I'd like to invite you to join me at the executive meeting so you can hear me share your findings and recommendations. This was a huge deal. 10 senior executives at the top of the company. I bought a new suit, new heels, and I walked into the office with my head held high, proud and excited to be included, just to be included. As we entered the boardroom and she introduced me to everyone, she leaned over and whispered, By the way, you're presenting. I thought I was going to be sick. I can't even imagine what was on my face when she said that. But here's the difference between that moment, and high school. I knew the material. I'd built the presentation deck, I'd written her speaking notes for her. My legs shook so badly that I had to grip the sides of the podium to stay upright. The executives were so uncomfortable for me that they couldn't make eye contact and they just looked in every other direction. But I made it through. And when the final executive fist pumped me on their way out and said, Good job, great job, I nearly jumped through the roof. I was a public speaker and I loved it. If my boss hadn't have pushed me in that moment, I might have avoided public speaking for the rest of my life, never knowing it would eventually become one of the most meaningful and fulfilling parts of my work. That's the power of testing your limits, of choosing growth over comfort, and discovering there's more strength in you than you've ever given yourself credit for. So these are the reflection prompts that I have at the end of every chapter. Okay. And so for chapter 2, the reflection prompts, unlearning what's holding you back. Number 1. So these are things that I want you to think about. No distractions, put on some soft music, light a candle, or just while you're here, if you're watching the replay, listen to it, pause, see what comes up for yourself. Okay, but write it out. Putting it pen to paper is your first act of bringing what's in your mind into the physical world. It's very powerful. Okay, and yes, I've been one of those people that says, oh, I'll just think about it. I'll just remember the difference that you will experience in the outcomes changing comes when you write it out. Okay. Take my word for it. Okay. Number 1, what's a reoccurring negative thought that you have about yourself? One that's lingered for years. It might show up as I'm just the kind of person who or I've always been statement. Okay. What kind of reoccurring thoughts do you have like that? Do you find yourself saying out loud, telling other people? Now let's flip it. Number two, what would the opposite of that belief sound like? Before you resist it, remember this is just an exercise. Try on this new belief like you're trying on a new jacket. Say it in your head, out loud, or even to someone else, and notice how your body and mind respond. So, an example of this, like a very basic one, this is one that I went through myself as a change, but if it was like, oh, I'm just the kind of person who stays quiet, I'm kind of shy. I get really shy when I'm around new people. I've always been super shy, or I've always been super scared in crowds or groups. Then it's just a matter of saying, I'm the kind of person who loves crowds. I'm the kind of person who loves meeting new people. I am very outgoing. It's like trying on a new outfit. Just say the words and see how you feel when you say it out loud. It's honestly, it might feel like a different language coming out of your mouth because it's something you're not used to saying. Try it. See if you like it more. Okay, number three, what other autopilot thoughts about your self-image, your future, money, career, or relationships are you not questioning? Simply because they've become familiar or emotionally charged, right? What autopilot thoughts? So, what kind of things do you believe about yourself, about your ability to save money, spend money wisely, make good decisions, pick the right kind of partner? Um, what kind of career potential do you have? Are you someone who tells yourself that you don't have what it takes, you're not one of those people, wasn't meant for you? Maybe you have a belief that you have to work long hours, do hard work to make money. That's just a belief. What if it was easy to make money when you were doing something you love? What if you were great at developing relationships, at spotting good people, at falling in love with the right people? Question those beliefs that we have just allowed ourselves to keep repeating because they are creating the results you're receiving right now, and you deserve better. Okay, number four, final reflection prompt for this chapter. Number four, how can you start a habit of consistently questioning those default beliefs that no longer, or maybe never did, align with who you are, who you're becoming, and the future you want to create? Okay, how can you start a habit of questioning those default beliefs? This is personal work, guys. This is up to you. No skin off my back if you don't do it. But because it's changed my life, and I know there are some people who will hear this and try it because what do you have to lose? And you're going to notice your life change. You're why I'm here. You're the reason I'm here to share this because it has changed my life. But it's personal work. You got to figure out how you can start catching those thoughts that aren't serving you, that are holding you back, that are keeping you playing small, that are keeping you in a box. Write about these, speak them out loud, let them shift you. You are stronger than you think, especially in your mind. Okay, I was hoping to get into another chapter so we can make more progress, but it ain't happening. We're already at the 30 minutes. All right, and I want to enjoy my evening as well. But when you hear these, if you watch the replay, or even if you're on and we get off, go back, listen to these reflection prompts, or if you have the book, beautiful thing I love doing is writing in my books. Date it. I might date like a pen color or a highlight color and put my notes in here. So if I ever come back to it, I can kind of see my own growth, see what I was thinking before, see which ones I caught before, but also share them with us. We can only make this a conversation when there's multiple of us participating and contributing. Your voice matters here. Your opinion matters here. You might be like, what's this all for? Why does this matter? Because they're future generations. They are watching us, they are learning from us. And when you do well, there's a ripple effect to that. When you're taking care of yourself, there's a ripple effect to that. And it benefits everyone around you and everyone you care about. So do this work for yourself. All right. Oh, I see Gia shared until yesterday, like that. Love that. Okay. That is all that I have for tonight. Thank you so much. Um, I really appreciate everyone purchasing the book, giving me their feedback, putting the Amazon reviews. That means so much to me. Um, Keep it coming, guys. Share about this. Share about the live readings, and we still have some tickets to the live to our in-person book launch that's happening August 28th in Winnipeg. And so if you engage with these live readings, if you join us live or if you participate when you can by adding your own thoughts, reflections, ideas, um, you get entered to win. All right. Then you get chosen. Somebody will be chosen within the next week or so to get an invite to the book launch. It's going to be a party. We have some live entertainment. There's going to be an incredible network of people there that you want to meet, you want to rub elbows with, and the environment's going to be beautiful. The venue's gorgeous. So yeah, get involved, guys. Participate. Your opinion matters. Your experiences and wisdom help bring the flavor and the smells and the taste to everything that we are doing because I don't want this to just be about my story. I want this to be about all of us sharing and creating our community, right, of strength and resilience. All right. Much love to all of you. Much love to you, Gia. Thank you so much for being on. Yeah, it is going to be fun, girl. Get your party dress, your party shoes. All right, everybody, take care and yeah, we'll keep you